Mike 1 and Mike 2. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2.
And this is Josh on mic 1.
As long as the music's not playing, then it should be all good. It's hard to play. Yeah, but I think it's all good. That sounds alright. Yeah, no worries. I think.
Check. Should we be seeing a level here?
It's hard to get there. It just seems to read quite well.
Yeah. I tempted to touch it up a little bit. It's your mixer, so you know.
Yeah, it's usually...
We probably don't need 48 volt phantom power.
Put that off. That might make a difference. Is that the same?
Yeah, it actually reduces the amount of fuzz and noise in the background.
Yeah, good. That's good. I didn't think of that, so I stopped having this.
Yeah. Yeah, you only need it if you've got a shotgun. Oh yeah, do you want headphones?
1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. You do get a bit of fuzz in the background.
Yeah,
but
I've got everything on max, so
yeah, that really gives you a lot more
volume, isn't it?
It is, because it's like a battle to actually hear. Alright, 1, 2, 1, 2. This is Steve on mic 2. This is mic 2. 1, 2, 1, 2. Good evening.
And good evening from me. This is Josh on mic 1. Mic 1, mic 1, mic 1, mic 1!
Nice finish.
I like to test the
you need to.
upper limit.
I always try and get out of doing that. If I should.
Bulleen, he does a number of other clubs.
Yeah.
And he's back doing this stuff again, those sports guys.
Yeah, he did say, I think I was speaking to him
Yeah,
2 weeks ago, and said he'd probably done something or other. It's like,
Yeah, he's the one who does all these Bulleen
I
streams.
didn't know. Yeah, so I never go out to Veneto. I get it like
He
once
does,
every 5 years.
Haven't you on Royals with him?
At Royals, it
Or did you get
is
Jordan?
Nathan?
Yeah, that's Nathan.
Nathan. Yeah, sorry,
Yeah,
Nathan.
that's what I'm talking to.
Yeah, sorry. That.
Oh, yeah, that's his brother.
Oh, they're brothers.
Yeah. They don't really look that much
They
alike.
don't look alike at all.
No, I'm pretty sure they're brothers.
Yeah. Yeah, Nathan.
Do we want to kill this until kick-off, or...?
Yeah, just turn it on.
Well, it's an impeccably observed minute silence here at Knight Stadium ahead of kickoff in this match between the Melbourne Knights and Manningham United in NPL Victoria Men's Round 21 Friday night football. The Knights paying respect to a legend of the club and the Croatian community who recently passed away, Slavko Maric. But on to the action. The players are out on the field for this one, and we're looking forward to this contest. Steve Curtin with you, and it's a pleasure, a very special occasion for the first time this year. I'm joined by Josh Parrish. Good evening, Josh.
It's been too long, Steve, and we've got an absolute corker in store for us tonight with plenty to play for both sides. Melbourne Knights were, 12 points adrift of finals only a few weeks ago. Now that gap is down to just 4 points, with Port Melbourne seemingly imploding. The race is on for 6th place, and the Melbourne Knights are well positioned. They've got a new signing in the starting lineup tonight and a notable absentee. Hatim Farr, the Frenchman who's joined from La Roche, is straight into the starting lineup. Kieran Bramwell, who came off last week through injury after scoring in 5 successive games, misses out altogether, with Joey Franich also dropping out of the matchday squad. A welcome return for Steve White into the midfield for the Knights. But for Manningham, a win tonight would all but secure safety in the top flight. And they've got 2 new arrivals straight into the 11 as well. The tough tackling Kurt Kuaku in central midfield, and the flying Paul Quoll in the forward line, joining from Dandenong City and Kingston City respectively. Should add plenty of dynamism to this Manningham side, who had such a morale-boosting win last week, with Ben Everson netting that spectacular hat-trick over St Albans.
That's right, and will we see more of that from Ben today or this evening as he chases the leaders at the top of the table in the Golden Boot race, and, well, don't rule him out. After that hat-trick last week, he's in great scoring form, especially that one where he got on the end of the ball from Thomas Golding and around at the keeper. It was absolutely fantastic stuff for the Manningham fans out there, and they were making some noise too, might I add. The effects mic was getting an absolute hammering from those supporters there out at in Melbourne's northeast. But we are here in Melbourne's west tonight, and it's the Manningham boys. They are in the sky blue jerseys. They're playing to the left, or the southern end of the venue here at Knight Stadium. And this is another one of the goal scorers from last week, Dow Akol, who scored a towering header in the second half on the ball, combining with Alex Castiello, and they're trying to find a way to play through this Knights defence that looks pretty well set up behind the ball. And interesting to see that new signing, Hatim Farr, lining up, coming out from the French, I think we'll say equivalent to the 4th division of French football, who has arrived, and he's going to have to come in and play as a 9. I think he can play as a 10 as well, but we're going to see his chance to play as the 9 here, as Golding's on the ball, and he's going to play it out wide to one of the new signings, which is Quoll out there on the far side. So Quoll and also Kuaku both into the starting 11 for George Karkoletzis' side tonight, as that ball was cleared by Werntle, back off the opponent and out for a goal kick. So it's a hush start here. It's the crowd just about to try and find their voice, I think, as they come in the stadium and find their seats for this 7:30 kickoff on Friday Night Football, NPL Victoria Round 21. And Chris Oldfield's going to get us going again with the goal kick, and the Knights are going to try and find a bit of a spark in this first half to get them up and running in the best possible way. They've been banging in the goals of late, Josh. They had trouble finding the back of the net, and then all of a sudden it was 11 goals in 2 games while they went on a 3-game winning streak, and they're unbeaten in 5, so the finals race is well and truly there for them if they're good enough, with Port Melbourne sitting in 6th place and looking like potentially slipping out of the top 6. A tough fixture for Port against the Oakley Cannons coming up this tomorrow afternoon, and we'll see. The Knights close within only 1 point of 2 points, of Port Melbourne in 6th place if they can get the win tonight.
Yeah, it's a huge game for them. It seems as if Jovan Franich, the player coach who lines up at right back today, has turned a bit of a corner. 4 wins, 3 draws and 2 defeats since taking over mid-season before that away trip to Dandenong Thunder. But 3 of those 4 wins have come in the last 5 games. Just to find Hatim Farr here, the new boy. Curls it off his left boot. Barno spreading the play. A real chance for the Knights to generate something here as they earn an early corner, an early set piece to test the Manningham defence, who haven't been the most solid this year. They had the worst defence in the competition with 53 goals conceded in their 20 games so far, but 9th best attack with the Knights' recent scoring form, you feel as if goals are on the agenda tonight, Steve.
Absolutely. Both of these sides not shy of playing attacking football, at least in recent times. The corner's taken short. And the Knights are going to try and recycle the ball and play it into that back post area, perhaps. As the ball does come in now to the far post, the header by Franich, and it's just going to hang in the air, and it's taken by another new arrival at Petty's Reserve for the Manningham United Blues, Hayden Brown, who's come across from being the number 2 behind Christian Rossi at Paisley Park this season, getting his chance to be the number 1 between the posts here. And here's Thomas Golding again. He's the danger man for Manningham, and he finds Everson again here. Everson just dwells on the ball a little bit too long. And the Knights trying to build up through Albano, who's going on a slaloming run through the middle of the park here. This is exciting stuff from John Albano, the left winger, who's drifted out to the right-hand side, and he floats the ball across to the far post, looking for that man far. Inside is Morton on the far side, and that ball is out of play under the pressure from Quall, and it's going to be a throw to the home side.
The Knights making the most of their French connection. Saif Saki has come across this season, and he's been joined by Hatim Farr. They both look like very skillful, laconic, left-footed players. Farr not necessarily an out-and-out striker all the time, but in the absence of Bramwell, he'll have to do a job. Such a shame for Bramwell to pick up an injury after he was in maybe career best form. 5 in 5 after being criticised last season for his profligacy in front of goal. The Knights have generated far fewer chances in maybe a down year, but he's scored far more goals.
Yeah, it's been great to see. He had his knockers last year, did Kieran Bramwell, but he certainly silenced any critics of his qualities this year with his ability to be very clutch in the moment when he needs to be, and taking all of those chances. And another fine header that he scored last week to open the scoring for the Knights. They weren't able to hold on and get the 3 points on a cold and wet night out at Broadmeadows last Saturday evening, but they'll be aiming to get all 3 here against this Manningham side, who come into this match in 12th place, so only 4 points ahead of those 2 teams that are at threat of relegation, both Moreland City and St Albans. And while they've created a little bit of a gap on those 2 teams at least, especially if there is to be 2 teams going down as opposed to the previously advertised 1. As the ball's over here on the far side in front of the Knights merchandise stand, it's going to be a throw to Manningham, so a chance maybe for the long throw opportunity here if Turgot's going to come forward and send it into the box perhaps.
Oh, very makeshift right back. He did a good job there last week, Ali Turgut. More of a box-to-box midfielder by a trade. But they've had to find defensive options where they've lost a lot of bodies this season. So many injuries and departures mid-season.
Well, the set play really came to nothing there, the short throw, and it was instantly blown up for a free kick that will be taken by Chris Oldfield. I wasn't actually sure what that free kick was for.
I believe it was handball against Ben Everson, was it?
That must have been must have been the decision there by our match referee tonight, Terry Constandelos. And Oldfield's going to send this one up high over the halfway line. He's looking for the flick on from the new signing, and the number 33, Hatim Farr. So he's a physical presence up there as well. He's not the beanpole type of attacker. Not the tallest though either, but I was very excited when I read that he was a left-footed attacker. Something about that just has a bit more juice than the right-sided attacking player. But we'll see what he can deliver in this NPL Victoria competition that's been delivering plenty of chaos lately. And, well, he hopefully will live up to the reputation of some of the other players that have been signed to the Knights in recent times. And, of course, the departures of Felipe Sanchez, but also Tommy Semi, a couple of exciting players from the Knights as well this week as well, with Semi heading out to Galvin Park and lining up for Werribee City. So it'll be interesting to see if he can bang in a few goals, dropping down one tier of football as the Knights try and play the ball forward. Carrigan's going to go all the way back to Oldfield, so good pressure again from Everson, and a chance for Thomas Verndl to try and build up the play here as the Knights look for those runs ahead of the ball.
It's a long diagonal and be seen out, not quite. Yeah, it's just seen over the touchline for a goal kick. Steve, you mentioned Tommy Semi going to Werribee. I mean, I can understand why the Knights have chosen to part ways, because his production has been a little bit inconsistent, but What a signing for Werribee City, relegation-threatened VPL 1 club. He should do absolute bits for them.
You can see him going on a tear at Galvin Park in the latter part of the season. Obviously, not many games left to do so, but if he can get off to a good start this weekend. Here's Morton. He's going to try his luck shaping for the shot, and well, the ball boys called into action behind the goal there, as that one's high and handsome from Jack Morton, who's starting in central midfield again tonight alongside Steve White. And what a great player to be able to bring back in a composed, ball-playing central midfielder. And, well, the Knights have just been a better side when he's been in the matchday squad, and he's got a lot of different assets that he can bring, including long-range free kicks that have even taken us off guard here at Knight Stadium in the past.
Yeah, he's a spectacularly gifted playmaker from deep, but more than anything, it's his tempo control of the game that the Knights have been missing without him. Has been on the bench quite consistently. He's in a playing assistant coaching role. I don't know whether it was fitness or wanting to see the game from a different perspective that's led him to start on the pine quite consistently in the last month or so, but I much prefer to see him on the field.
Yeah, I think I'll second that, and so will all of our viewers at home. And a big hello to everyone tuning in tonight on the NPL Victoria live stream. We hope you're enjoying this action so far. The round opener of round 21. Not long to go in the season, and those spaces in the top six. Well, it's hotting up to see who can not only claim the premiership, but also can squeeze into that top six, as Everton's going to play the ball out wide, out in front of Golding. It was inch perfect, didn't need to break stride, and Golding's going to get to the byline here. Good challenge from Carrigan. He puts it behind for a corner kick over there in front of the Knights social facilities behind the goal there, and we're going to see a chance for the big boys to come forward. Castiello and Dow Acol, of course, as we mentioned, Acol on the score sheet last week. Could he do it again 2 weeks in a row?
Superb work from Junior Carter in the lean-up there. He's such a gifted footballer. He's been relied upon as a sole holding midfielder of late. Got a bit of support there with Kuaku coming in. This is Everson off the short corner. He loves to dart to the front post and catch teams out. It's back to Tom Golding. Plenty of air underneath that one. Tough one for Ramirez. Acol back into the danger zone. Now Kuaku's header falls short of its intended target, and there's half a chance for the Knights to break. Runs away for a throw. Well defended in transition by the Blues. Their lineups of late have just looked a little bit unbalanced to me. They got the job done against St Albans, but maybe having that dedicated holding midfield presence, a true shielder and tough tackler to help the back four out will provide a little more balance there with Kuaku coming in.
Yeah, definitely some support as well for Junior Carter, who does so much work there on his own as that a sole number 6, I suppose, in there with the other midfield players playing perhaps in more advanced roles. You often see even the likes of Jose Ramirez starting alongside of him at the start of phases of play, but he will always push forward and try and create, as the Knights are trying to create something here, but it's going to be out of play for a Manningham goal kick. And there's a bunch of new names on the team sheets for both sides. We talked about the starting 11s, or the benches as well. One of the new signings that the Melbourne Knights have picked up on the bench tonight, Anton Primorac, has come in from Melbourne Knights, where he's been playing 18 games this season in the VPL 1 under-23s, also on the bench.
Melbourne Victory?
Oh, Melbourne Victory, sorry. That's an important clarification. Apologies to everyone I've just torched there. Thomas Karlovic, John McGough, Jacob Wiseman, and Jeffrey Leno, another recent signing as well, who's coming from the Bentley Greens.
Yeah, barely got a look in it at Bentley. He hasn't scored a goal for them this year, as far as I can tell. So they've been through a lot of players, Bentley. Doesn't mean that those players who are maybe off cuts there after the change of coach.
Yeah, it's interesting. It is interesting. No goals this season, but 5 in 21 for Dandenong Thunder in the top tier last season. So he's certainly capable of hitting the scoreboard, but not this season so far. Will that turn when he gets a chance on the pitch tonight for the Knights, perhaps in the second 45? Kept in play by Saki, but turning it over. Controlling it well, and here's Ramirez switching the play nicely, but it's easily intercepted on the far side by Corey Sewell, and here's a chance for Albano, but he's not really been able to bring himself onto the game too much so far in the opening minutes.
And Lino's an interesting one. He's bounced around so many different clubs. But I do rate his impact, especially as a substitute. Pace he has and the directness, an eye for goal off the bench. Can be an absolutely devastating player on his day. So see why the Knights have plumbed for him, because it just seems as if they've lacked depth this year and lacked bench impact in a lot of games. This is Jose Ramirez for Manningham, meanwhile. Shapes to shoot from a long way out, and it's a straightforward stop for Chris Oldfield. But just a sighter early on for Jose Ramirez. It's been a long time between drinks for him. Only one goal this year, which, you know, he's been playing in deeper positions than maybe he's accustomed to, but Manningham captain would want more in terms of goal production than that.
Yeah, 9 goals for him last year in the second tier in their promotion season, so certainly we put that down to him being probably, as you say, used in a different role in that deeper position in midfield this season. Tommy Burndall stepping forward, looking for options out to the left. He's got Sewell out there. Ahead of him is Albano. From Qual. Morton's got a chance to turn and face forward and switch the play here. He finds the captain coach out there in Ivan Franic. Cut out well by Golding, who just lofts it back over his head. It's a scrap for possession here. Franic again. A little reverse pass. It's well read by Castiello. Played forward by Turgle. This is Qual now. Play for a Manningham throw on the far side. Still 0-0 here, and well, Manningham with their first attempt on goal through Jose Ramirez from an awfully long way out. Didn't test Chris Oldfield, but certainly had a lot of power behind it. You heard the thud of the shot through our effects mic tonight.
Good tracking back by Tom Golding there to cover his left fullback. Not always a player who chips in defensively. I think he's developed that part of his game this year. Part of the reason I think he wasn't seeing much football to begin the season, but he's had a good run in the first team of late.
He certainly seems to have the match fitness to get up and back and put on those defensive efforts when needed, as we saw there. Saki, and now Steve White showed a bit too much of the ball to Kawaku.
Put away snaps into challenges. That's something Manningham have really lacked this year.
Quick off the mark. He's Hoare trying to play that little reverse pass for Saki, who's going to fight his way through the defence, and his shot is off target. Well, the goal was beckoning there. And the attempt, well, wasn't his best effort. To play for a goal kick when, well, everything just opened up in front of him there. It parted like the Red Sea. Couldn't make the most of the opportunity, so that was the best look at goal so far for the Knights in this one.
Someone could tackle him. Extraordinary how they didn't do more to stop that in its tracks.
Just straight through Marco Tavella like he wasn't there, and then the attempt, disappointing.
Tom Golding's got a problem here, but the Knights are entitled to play on if they want to. Saki for Chor. White out to Saif Edin Saki, who has Ivan Franic as the extra number. Franic delivers it low. It's a crowded box. Can they get a shot away? Chor looking for an option. Now it's White. To Albano. Maybe they were too patient there, trying to walk the ball in, and Manningham have acres to exploit. They can find the right pass. Paul Qual forced backwards. He's in Junior Carter. Now Tom Golding. Red shirts retreating behind the ball. Golding for Tavella. Wants it on his right boots, and perhaps that was his undoing. Spins back towards him. Is there a touch off Franic there? There was. Manningham corner. Oh. Huge opening for the Knights at the other end, but they just couldn't get a shot away.
Well, Mitch Hoare had the ball there, and he was tracking back and back and back, and then nothing ever eventuated. Despite him being in possession, I think he had about 8 or 9 touches on the ball in his attacking penalty area, but it's Manningham trying to get something going forward here. They've turned it over. Turgut is the deepest man back at the set play to receive the balls and go all the way back to Hayden Brown in goal.
Seems as if Ben Everson demands the ball short of every corner. It's worked this season, but I think the Knights are alive to the pattern.
been almost to their detriment so far this evening, and then he just tries to sort of ram through the nearest defender, which can work. We've seen it this season.
It certainly worked away at CB Smith against Moreland City. A couple of other occasions it's resulted in goals, but when you turn to it every time, it becomes very predictable.
He certainly brings that old-fashioned number 9 presence, like a Brandon Barnes type to this Manningham side. Saki trying to switch the play. It's a decent ball. It's got a little bit too much on it maybe for Brumwell. He just keeps it in. Turgut sliding in and taking down the man, but he got the ball first. And it's going to be a corner kick over on the far side for the Knights, so another chance for the set piece here. So chances have been few and far between, but when they have come, that particular chance for the Knights, it was a really good look at goal. It went begging, and maybe they can conjure something up here as Ivan Franic, the player coach, is over to swing in this corner kick.
Saki will be ruining that early miss, but the Knights packing the 6-yard box here as Franic swings it to the back post, and it just skims off the head of Dow Akol and out for another corner on the opposite side.
It was well read by Akol. Others didn't read it as well as he did, and he was in the right place to deny. It was Corey Zul who was lurking at the back post behind him.
It's going to be Saki off his left boot. So near posts and flicked goalwards and well fielded by Hayden Brown.
Looked to have gone out of play crossing the byline there, that one, but it stayed in, and it was a nervy moment in the end for Hayden Brown, but he did well to keep his own.
In fact, Hetim Far taking the corner, I should have said. Facing the NPL.
Getting used to these new signings. It's like the season started again, and we're trying to run the rule over the form guide again here. But we'll do our best to get those names right for you. Steve Curtin and Josh Parrish here with you. NPL Victoria. Round 21 Friday night football from Knight Stadium. It's deadlocked at 0-0 at the moment in this big round contest. It's the only match of the night too as well, with plenty of football coming away tomorrow evening, as well as a couple of matches on Sunday as well. The Knights enjoying a good spell of possession here. Here's Saki. Will he try his luck? He tries to thread the through pass through, but it's evaded everyone. It's out of play. Probably the big game is the lunchtime kickoff tomorrow. Looking at this round, it's 9th versus 7th, two teams chasing finals, Green Gully and Dandenong City. It's one of those standout fixtures. It's a lot of teams from the upper reaches playing teams from the lower reaches this season, so will we see an upset though that could put the cat amongst the pigeons as we do head into the final 5 games that remain after this round?
Just earlier, Saki pass felt as if he could have pulled the trigger. He had the space to take a shot. Test out Hayden Brown. He's on his left foot as well. Meanwhile, there's a chance for Manningham as Ramirez wins it high up the park. Golding darts inside and finds Kawaku with the square pass. Now Junior Carter thought about the shot, pulls the trigger and sees his effort blocked. Turgut couldn't win the loose ball. Knights back the other way. Ramirez sliding in. Trying to make a block that doesn't connect. Wakol will play the simple one. Junior Carter again. And his pass is charged down. And Saif Saki is not in the mood to waste time here. Oh, well, he's wasted the pass, though. Too heavy for Mitch Hoare, who was in acres of space. And the Frenchman kicks the ground in frustration.
I was about to say the same thing verbatim there, Josh. He was in acres of space, and I can't believe that Saif Saki couldn't find Mitch Hoare there as he was floating down that right-hand side, preparing to take possession and perhaps slide a low ball across the 6-yard box. Wasn't to be. Here's Kawaku. And the gloves looking to switch the play wide to Golding. He does that now. Golding running at Franic. He's got 2 Knights players to beat. He's going to be forced all the way back to Tavalla. Golding again just needs a bit of support here. Tavalla might come and supply the overlap, but it was a bit too long but wait for it to arrive, and Everson is going to try and get the cross in here. Carrigan's going to put it out for a corner, is he not? No, it's been given as a goal kick by Terry Constandelos. Now, assistant referees tonight, Jock Quartermain and Vlatko Trocheski, and a fourth official, Lucas Matty, are overseeing this one. Tight contest so far. Savella, well, it was a good first touch, then he lost sight of where the ball had gone.
He expected to kill it stone dead, as he did.
That was almost magnetic at his save, Saki. That's a good little back heel. The two Frenchmen combining here. Saki into the area for far, and well, it's off target again. So the Knights having trouble with their radar at the moment in front of goal, but nonetheless a good combination between the two Frenchmen there.
This dynamic stuff down the right from the Knights. Hatim Far had the chance to make himself an instant hero, couldn't find the angle, no bend off the left boot, but 1-2 was eye-catching. I can tell you that over at Lawton Park in the VPL 1 kickoff, it's 1-0 to Langwarrin over Kingston City. So Paul Quall's former team fallen behind without his services.
Knights trying to go forward again, but it's that Manningham defence that's been solid so far, and there's going to be an injury delay here as Terry Constandelos is calling the trainer out onto the field for a Knights player who's gone down.
It's the new man, Hatim Far, clutching his face, I think.
He's back up on his feet. Might be got a copper one to the face there. Yeah. Maybe a little bit of blood being spat out there, perhaps, as he's over on the touchline.
I think he just copped a stray arm or a shoulder. 50-50, nothing untoward about it. Well, Manningham have had a lot of possession so far this evening. Most of it in their defensive third, of course.
It is good to see sides that find themselves in the lower reaches of the table still happy to try and come and play with the ball and build up the play and build reasonable attacking opportunities, and that's what Manningham have done this season after being promoted from the old NPL 2 last season, and well, certainly the league is better for that happening as they try and come forward here through Paul Kowal. He's got Everson ahead of him to the right. He's going to use Everson now. Everson's out wide. Everson scans the middle of the field looking for options. Junior Carter's made a run forward, and on the overlap, well, it was Ali Turgut getting forward from right back, as he loves to do. And then, despite the making a good run and making good position, the attempt was well off target.
Off target from Turgut. Ben Everson did a great job of just holding up play there and waiting for the run. And when he stands defenders up like that, they assume he's going to try and dart between them or go past them, but he's not a selfish player in the sense that he has tunnel vision. He knows what his options are around him, and he found the runner in Turgut brilliantly. Also, just noticed one of the first opportunities for Paul Quall to really open up his stride and show off that burst of acceleration that can be so dangerous. Manningham downfield very, very quickly. Breaks down for the Knights. Second effort is good, but Manningham able to ride through it and win a free kick as Turgut is fouled.
Smart play from Ali Turgut, winning the free kick and just taking the heat off a little bit. Some of these periods of play and just possession being exchanged from one team to the other. On the verge of the final third there of the Knights attacking third. It's a good header by Werndl. He gave a little bit of a nudge in the back to Everson, but it was all within the rules of the game, according to referee Terry Constandelos. So it's going to be a throw for Manningham, and again, they're going to have more advantage of territory and possession here. Wide on the right-hand side. This is Ramirez. Inside is Quall. He's got Everson on the top of the 6-yard box, and it's going to be out for another corner kick. So another good attack by Manningham, who, well, I have to say, they've been impressive, particularly in first halves this season, and we've seen that again today where they've given as good as they've got against the Knights so far in this one in the first 28 minutes.
They certainly have. I felt as if there was an opportunity for Quoll to maybe go down there. He's almost too honest. Probably wasn't a penalty, but I feel like it's worth a shot if you're in Manningham's position on the table. Desperate for 3 points to stay up. Credit to him for not going down that route, of course. It's Tom Golding's corner. Sent into the box for Castiello. And well wide of the mark from the central defender. Getting to score for Manningham.
Again, decent ball in by Golding. Just hung in the air a little bit, and it was difficult for Castiello to either try and play it back across to somebody else or to make a genuine attempt that would beat Chris Oldfield from there. But nonetheless, a good ball in again, and pressure on the Knights' defence continues. Barno's ball in is well defended again and repelled by that Manningham defence. So Corey Sewell with the throw here. Scanning for options. Albano with the intelligent run. There's a handball there, so it's going to be a free kick for the Knights in a promising position. It'll suit the right footer. Manningham not happy with the decision going against them, but it did look to be from here a good shout for a handball, so it's going to be time for Hayden Brown to organise the wall. It looks like he's going to have 3 in it.
They don't have too many right footers to choose from this Knights attack. It's going to be Ivan Franic.
Good chance for the coach to pull rank here, but I mean, nonetheless, a very good set piece taker.
He's certainly got the pedigree, Ivan Franic. Let's see what he can produce from this set piece. Does he go for goal? Does he try and find a teammate? It's a short routine instead. It's charged down. Well defended by Manningham. Ben Everson back, scrapping for a loose ball.
I've seen better set piece routines, but I can't remember when. That was pretty average by the Knights there.
Very ordinary. Short routines, they look great when they come off, and they look pretty misguided when they're done.
So Manningham enjoying the bulk of possession here again. Here's Akol. The stride forward. The field by the right-footed left-back to Valla. Picking up the loose ball, and Steve White combining with him. And Hall. This is far. Traffic trying to urge Corey Sewell to step further up the park. Looking for options now. Steve Sucky. He's got Zavala to beat. He's done well here, Sucky. Can he get a good ball into the box? It's the header by far, and it's off target yet again for the Knights, but nonetheless, a good build-up down the right-hand side this time.
Yeah, lovely whip and pace on the delivery, even off the right foot of Saif Saki, and Tim Farr knows he could have done a bit more with that. Those two have looked the most likely route to goal for the Knights so far. Ooh, Hayden Brown flirting with danger as Manningham play their way out from defence. Carter slides and does just enough. Kawaku looking for Golding, telegraphed it. And Ivan Franic is able to win possession back. Now it's Saki. With Tavella right on his back. Wendell. Albano. The Knights will just try and regain a bit of control and field position with Steve White setting the tempo. Now Carrigan out to Saki. Puts it across the pitch for Wendell. Morton goes back to Carrigan, and now Saki. Tavella and Saki really shirt tight. There's a marking there. This is Corey Sewell for the Knights. Whips it in right-footed. Mitchell back to Sewell. Dink to the far post, and it's Ivan Franic! Would you believe it? The right back getting on the end of the left back's cross. And the captain coach makes the breakthrough for the Melbourne Knights. 1-0 and a superbly worked team goal.
Wow, what a towering header from the player coach. He rose out of the turf there and fired it home. Hayden Brown, no chance at all with the quality of the finish. And what a good ball in as well from the left-hand side as well. And no mistake made there by Ivan Franic. Well, it's not often you get the player coach, but the player coach goal, we've ticked that off tonight. And the Knights get the lead here. 1-0 midway through the first half. And well, Manningham will feel like it's a little bit of hard luck for them because they've put out a good showing so far, but the marking wasn't good enough there for the Manningham side to deny. Ivan Franic banging that one home, and a fine finish it was again as we watch that one on our replay screen. Well put away.
Well, that's got to have been 15 passes. It was just a superb team move.
Yeah.
I think it's one of those that needs the counter treatment from the Knights social team. Just give us a little ding every time they connect.
Let's see it. Let's give the fans what they want. A really good build-up indeed. Getting the overload on that left-hand side and making the most of the opportunity.
Well, it's one of the hardest things to defend in football when both fullbacks are involved in the attack and you've got one crossing to the other. Just don't usually have the numbers back to defend it, and so it proved.
Yeah, so hard to pick up those late runs with defenders coming into the box late. So a good confidence booster for the Knights. It's what they needed, and here's the goal scorer, Ivan Franic, on the ball. That's a crafty ball over the top two to pick out Saif Saki. Again with Tavalla Tavit. Throws the step overs at him and back onto the left. It's a dangerous ball in. It's repelled by that Manningham defence. Here's Turgut now.
Shades of that goal that Franic scored for Heidelberg at Olympic Village, I think against South Melbourne a little while ago. Oh, Saki. Still Saif Saki. Knights could be on for two here. Off the woodwork. And the rebound is cleared off the line. Would you believe it?
Well,
Hatim Farr couldn't have come much closer to a debut goal.
It looked for all money that Hatim Farr had opened his account there after the ball had already ricocheted off the crossbar from the shot by Hoare, and then Farr on the follow-up. I think it was Tavalla who cleared off the line. It was, in fact, so well played by Tavalla to save the day there because they've gone 1-0 behind. They could ill afford to go 2-0 behind in the space of 5 minutes with 10 minutes to go until half-time. Manningham hanging on to this one by the skin of their teeth. They don't want to go another goal behind, and they clear this one away eventually. And here's Everson, who's got back to do the defensive duties. He's got a full head of steam up here as Ben Everson. He's directing traffic, and he's not seeing what he likes, but he finds Golding ahead of him. Golding with a little reverse ball looking for Kuol. Charging forward in the headband, and his ball was unable to stay in play. It's going to be a throw to the Knights, but nonetheless a good counter-attacking attempt to Manningham, but it comes to nothing again.
Oh, gee, their heart rates are going to be racing at the moment. Nerves on the Manningham bench. So their chances in this game flash before their eyes as the Knights so close to a second. Desperation defending from Marco Tavalla on the goal line. And that's a good challenge from Turgut. They need to break the momentum here. And tackles like that will go some way. Re-establishing Manningham's credentials in this contest. It's Paul Kuol. Rides one challenge. Get away from the second.
Left behind and got the ball again. The Manningham players, including Kwaku, appealing for a handball by the Knights player who was on the floor. Play on was the call, and the Knights, they look so much more comfortable now. Very jittery performance while they were locked at 0-0, but what a difference a goal makes, and they look calm and composed on the ball now, and it's Manningham with it all to do. The relegation threatened side, 4 points clear of the drop zone at the moment. Even a point here would be super handy for them going forward into the last few games of the season. They've got a huge 6-pointer next week at home against Moreland City on Saturday afternoon. What a match that promises to be out there on the synthetic at Petty's Reserve.
I maintain that the Knights, when they're on, even this season, look at the table, it's not kind to them. When they're on, they play some of the best football in the competition. Kwaku bursting through. Is that a yellow card for Steve White? Yep, the yellow ticket's out for the first time. It seemed like a pretty clear, cut and dry one for Terry Constandellis as Kurt Kwaku burst through a gap.
He just showed the two Knights defenders a clean pair of heels there, and a tactical foul in the end by Steve White, a player of immense experience. happy to cop the yellow card for the sliding challenge there and stop Kawaku in his tracks. And well, what a good impact he's made, both in a defensive and attacking sense as well. A good all-round midfielder and explosive pace. It's great to see. Tearing through the centre of Knight Stadium as Manningham are trying to find a way to get themselves back into this one. The free kick, it's an awfully long way out. There's a bit of interest here from a trio of players in the sky blue shirts.
Ramirez wants it. Tom Golding is capable of the spectacular as well.
I feel like Ramirez might fancy himself from here, but Golding's going to chip this one over the top. And the tall timbers forward. It's going to break for Everson. Here's Akol. Back to goal, and the Knights' defence wins away. Oh, the touch by Farr was, I'm not sure if that's what he was attempting, but it's worked out a treat here. Hatim Farr. Eventually he's lost out. Castiello, central defender in the middle of the park, won the free kick, dusted himself off and took it quickly as well, if you don't mind. Here's Junior Carter. Ramirez now. Manningham getting a little bit more confidence after being pegged back to that 1-0 deficit that they currently see themselves in the situation of this 1-0 scoreline. The Knights at the moment holding all the aces, heading in towards half-time. Just over 5 minutes until the break. Here's Tavella. And his passes, I'm not sure who he was aiming for there, and he's played it straight to Steve White.
And White trying to find gaps between the lines and play through the centre whenever he can. That's a hallmark of a midfielder who wants his passing to not just be accurate but impactful. No foul there again yet. The whistle goes. This time against Jack Morton. Just with 5 minutes of regulation to play. Plus a little bit of stoppage for that Hatim Farr injury. Tom Golding went down as well earlier in the contest, so we should get 3 minutes at least. It's Golding over this ball now, and another chance to put one into the box. Cause a bit of chaos. The Knights a few questions to answer defensively. Castiello got his head to it but couldn't find a teammate. In fact, it ricocheted in the wrong direction. Farr with a nice flick for Saif Saki. Brilliant take. Kawaku with him. Back heels in the direction of Mitch Hoare. Low delivery is sent in the wrong direction by Turgut. And that's going to be a Knights corner. A bit of a cheapie to concede. Just in the shadows of half-time here.
Ali Turgut get the clearance, but he was caught slightly out of position there and he couldn't direct that one in the direction he wanted it to go as he lunged out for it, setting the corner kick. It could be a costly one if the Knights were able to capitalise from the opportunity.
It's going to be Hatim Farr again.
Well, it's all about the quality of the delivery from Hatim Farr as the Knights players congregate around the back post. That's where it goes. It's got a little bit too much on it over the head of everyone, including Dower Cole, who seems to be always at the drop of these Knights corner kicks. As he saw that one, he was able to escort it over the byline for a Manningham goal kick. So not too long till the halftime team talks will be getting penned, and we'll be hearing what the players can offer up in the second half. The Manningham United Blues, interesting bunch of substitutes. Jonas Georgopoulos is back in there, so a good experienced player at the other end of his career who's impressed me so far this season, the 18-year-old James Tuntis, who started last week. Also another new signing, David Moabu, and Thomas Grinos, the young keeper, and another new signing, Anton Redmore as well, who's had some experience in the United States as well. Here's Everson out wide on the left now, back to Tavella.
To see them try and get Paul Quoll a little more involved here. He's been a slightly peripheral figure on the flank. Whenever he's got the ball, he looks dangerous, but he just hasn't got enough of it.
Started down the right-hand side, then he's drifted out to this left-hand side of the Manningham attack, and the ball's just drifted into his possession here as well. Luck's the fortune. Looking for options. He's maybe just holding on to the ball a little bit too long here. Draws a crowd. Goal now. Again, plenty of possession for Manningham. They probably had more of the football in the first 45 than the Knights have had, but nothing to show for it. Turgut, Junior Carter. Pressure was from Sewell. He was clipped, but play on's the call. And in fact, it's going to be a throw. Taken quickly. Ramirez trying to work his magic over near the byline. Plays it in, looking for Everson, but it was again repelled by that Knights defence, and Thomas Verndl was the man to clear it away. Only as far as this Manningham midfield, and now it's Kawaku in space. Looking for options. Wall again, a little bit of a heavy touch. Maybe just lacking a little bit of confidence at the moment, poor Kual. Castiello, he's been the target of all the set pieces so far for Manningham, but what can he offer in the build-up play from central defence? We'll turn that over. Castiello again. The Knights have really ramped up the pressure in the last couple of minutes.
Oh, that's harsh, I think. That whistle seemed like a fair challenge, but we're a long way away in the commentary position, of course. But the Knights' press has been, I would say, improved out of sight since the last time I saw the Melbourne Knights, which was in person anyway, which was back when they played Avondale. Around 16 or 17.
Yeah, I'd have to agree. I haven't seen them since it was round 11, and it was the match where they got a little bit of a touch-up at this venue by the Oakley Cannons. Certainly a number of changes, personnel and structurally, between now and then, but tactically as well. And it seems to be working if the recent results are anything to go by. 5 games without defeat, including that 3-match winning streak. They've turned it over here. Here's Kawaku. And Ramirez, who's been everywhere so far for Manningham. Kawaku again. There's a Kual. He's not ever so short and was well read by Ben Carrigan. So another good touch by him. And a heavier touch, and he showed too much of it a haul, but then Ramirez got a ball playing across the far side of the park here. Ali Turgut. Thomas Golding, who's switched from left to right-hand side here. He throws the step-overs. It's well played by Golding and Ramirez, and they win themselves a corner kick. So good build-up by Manningham, and opportunity from the set piece is a little more than they deserve as well to close out this first 45. We've got confirmation from the 4th official over there, Lucas Matty. There's going to be two minutes added on to the end of this first 45. So a little bit of time left for Manningham to try and conjure up something here. And Thomas Golding's going to send in this set-piece opportunity. Castiello will be the target again. Oh, it's got a lot of pace on that one over the top. Nicole, the central defender, rounds it up and he sends it up. Bit of a rainmaker that bounces in the penalty area. Flags up for offside. Knights can breathe a sigh of relief.
It was, excuse me, it was a moonraker of a knock back into the box from Dow Ackle. Very much a central defender's effort there. Nearly worked out. Paul Pollard stayed on the right side of the last defender.
If that had resulted in a goal for Manningham in the shadows of half-time, that would have been something special. Chaos ball into the box, clears everyone in the penalty area, and then back in again. Just to deceive the Knights' defence, perhaps, but I won't go quite as far as saying that that's a set piece that George Carclettis and the boys have been working on at training this week.
Codename Hoofball. Don't think that was part of the plan. It's in far back to Franich, but then it's turned over by Saki. Carrigan's header for the Knights. Everson trying to close down. Carrigan forward. A little bit of a zone of uncertainty here. John Albano, should say, battles for it. Castiello, really strong work. A little late. Risky challenge there when you picked up that sort of momentum. Castiello is forthcoming with the apologies.
Oh, he's going like a bull at a gate there, and he
did get the ball, in fairness. He just thundered into the man on the follow-through. Oh, yellow card for a Knights player there. Must have been something he said.
For the complaints.
I think you're right. That was Corey Sewell who's been booked, the number 4 at left back.
Corey still, he copped that one from Castiello right across the ankle, and he didn't appreciate it. Gave his 5 cents worth to Harry Constandelis, who gave him a yellow card in exchange. And the players head down the tunnel, and at half-time it is a 1-0 lead to the Knights, but there's plenty to play out in this one, as Manningham's given it certainly as good as they've got in that first 45 minutes. Josh, what can we expect in the second 45?
Yeah, well, I think surely there will be changes for Manningham at some point. Impact subs. They've got James Tuntas, who is a goal threat. Mohamed Al Sadi can do a lot with the ball on the counter-attack in particular. So maybe a bit of industry from Yanni Georgopoulos. But they're in a bit of a pickle here. They've had a lot of possession in the first half, but Melbourne Knights have been happy to press them into mistakes and try and capitalise. And ironically, considering the way they've played, it's actually a spectacular team goal in possession that the Knights have unlocked the Manningham defence with. Ivan Franic, the leader at the back, the Socceroo, the captain coach, has come up with a towering header off a Corey Sewell cross. Late arrival into the box, powers it into the corner for 1-0. And the Melbourne Knights' chase for finals football continues. Halftime score at Summers Street. It's Melbourne Knights 1, Manningham United Blues 0. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Summers Street, where the halftime score is Melbourne Knights 1, Manningham United Blues 0. After a very eventful first half in which the Knights scored off a 16-pass, glorious team move that ended with Corey Sewell, the left back, crossing to Ivan Franic, the right back, for a towering header. That's the difference. They had the chance to make it 2 when Mitch Hoare struck the crossbar, and Atim Far's follow-up effort was cleared off the line by Marco Tavella, but 1-0 it stayed. Manningham still in with a shout in this one. A win today would put them on the brink of mathematical safety in the top flight. They're battling it out all season with Moreland City and St Albans Dynamo. And for the Knights, 3 priceless points in pursuit of 6th place, which will drag them into the finals after struggling for most of the year. They've turned a corner, and it's Joan Albano who turns the ball into the 6-yard box. Easy enough claim for Hayden Brown. My name's Josh Parrish. I've got Steve Curtin alongside me this evening. Steve, what's been your impression of the game so far?
Look, it's been a bit of a hard luck story for Manningham. They've had a lot of possession. They've tried to build up. They haven't made genuine chances, but they could be about to make one here as Ben Everson's in behind and he's hit the post. Well, just as you mentioned that, over the top. It was Route 1 stuff from Manningham, and it almost caught out that Knights defence. Hayden Brown sending the ball long. Everson getting on the end of it. And, well, he couldn't have come closer to scoring there. Just a lick of paint from making it 1-1. But as it stands on the live ladder in NPL Victoria, Melbourne Knights have closed to within 1 point of 6th place Port Melbourne Sharks. If you watch that replay again, it really got a lot of distance on that clearance from Hayden Brown. And, well, what a chance that was for the Manningham side to level things up, but they've got the chance from the set piece here as we await the taking of this corner kick from Thomas Golding. It's in a good area, but it's headed away by the goal scorer Ivan Franic, and then further away by Albano. Up in the air by Tavello. That's another rainmaker that's going to be out in front of Golding, who did his best to keep it in, but even the fleet-footed Thomas Golding was unable to keep that one within the field of play. But it's been a first half where we've seen the Knights created some good chances, which they really snatched at their chances, but it took the experienced figure of Ivan Franic, the player coach, to slot home, and what a good finish that was as well. And we spent the halftime break clipping up that highlight of the 16-pass build-up, putting it into fast forward and superimposing those numbers of passes to count there. So looking forward to that one being premiered during the week. That one's going to be a big hit, no doubt. But what a great team goal that was by the Knights, and a goal worthy of leading this particular contest as they battle for an opportunity to get a finals berth that would have been unlikely earlier in the season, but well, it could be on the cards now as they attack down the right-hand side. Saki was thwarted, and eventually the ball did come into the Manningham penalty area. It was away initially by Turgut. Here's another chance for Manningham. Junior Carter getting forward, and it's an interesting ball out in front of Everson, who's got a full head of steam up here as he runs at Ben Carrigan. Everson gets onto the right foot, plays it inside. Golding was there, and it ricocheted off Junior Carter, but it ran through harmlessly in the end.
Well, Manningham with a bright start to the second half here, almost registering an assist was their goalkeeper, Hayden Brown, with that long punt downfield. Another nice move. Tom Golding was screaming for the ball from a long way off. Ben Everson, he did find him, but couldn't direct his effort on target. Even the deflection off Carter didn't really help. It would have been an extraordinary start to the second half if Ben Everson's shot it found the bottom corner. Desperately unlucky as it flashes off the woodwork. But the Knights just coming out a little bit complacent. Seem to have woken up after that half-time interval.
Yeah, Manningham, the kind of side that they don't allow you to rest on their laurels unless you can try and really put them to the sword and pile on a couple of goals, which is what we expect the Knights to be looking to do, as they've scored a lot of goals late in games this season, at least in recent weeks. Manningham often conceding a lot of goals in second halves of games as well, which wasn't the case last week, where they came home with a wet sail against relegation threatened St Albans in that real 6-point game up at Petty's Reserve, and it's Melbourne Knights in possession here. This is Mitch Hoare looking to switch the play. Jack Morton, he's got options to his right, including Ivan Franic. Saif Saki's ahead of him down the line, but he's going to come in board here, Ivan Franic. Eventually does go out to Saif Saki, who's got Tavalla to beat out there on the far side. In on the left peg, Saki, and it's a header away by Akol, who makes the second clearance. Oh, a bit of tunnelling going on there, perhaps by Colby. He's got the free kick going to Manningham, and it was Ivan Franic, who, again, he rose almost as high as did when he headed home that game opening goal, but he's landed awkwardly here on his neck, and there's a bit of concern on the sidelines for the player coach here.
Yeah, certainly got some hang time there, Ivan Franic. Referee Terry Constandelis had to stop the game, check on the welfare of the captain coach. Potential for a head injury, so no questions about it. Quickly taking that free kick.
He's landed on his right shoulder there, so that might be also the sting up that Ivan Franic is obviously made of tougher stuff though, and he's going to be running this one off, no doubt.
Kuaku throwing his weight around in midfield. Quol now. Little back heel for Carter. And now Paul Quol bursts onto the loose ball. Cuts it back for Everson. Ben Everson. Is he showing studs there on the defender? No whistle. And his shot is blocked and out for a corner. Oh, Knights defender went down rather theatrically there.
It was a 50-50 contact between the Knights defender and Everson. You wonder if Everson maybe could have gone down and tried to claim something for his side as well. It wasn't to be.
It's going to be Tom Golding to swing it in with a peak out traffic assembling in the 6-yard box. It's going to be tough for Chris Oldfield here to claim. Golding has overhit that one. Mr. Yellow heads it back across, but Oldfield is an old hand with that sort of thing. He's trying to copy Hayden Brown's near assist from a few moments ago, but there's no one really to release up top.
A little bit of kick-to-kick for the two goalkeepers in green and yellow out there at the moment. Hayden Brown enjoying being in the fray for first-team football after being the backup keeper to Christian Rossi at Altona Magic this season, as he sends this one away and over the halfway line. The header was by Sewell. Barno dotting it on, and now Steve White. By Grundle. It's all a bit scrappy at the moment. Here's Mitch Hall looking for Far, but he couldn't find him. Akol slides on the slippery surface. We walked across the pitch beforehand. It is slippery out there tonight on this track. The grass is becoming a little bit threadbare out there on this surface on Knight Stadium. This is Thomas Golding. Gets a juicy looking ball into the back post area, but there was no one running onto it. Runs harmlessly out of play.
It feels as if Tom Golding has got to take 10 to 15% power off his crosses if he can. He's missed the box a few times, whether off a dead ball or a live one.
It's not a narrow pitch here either. You could forgive him maybe for doing so somewhere like Churchill Reserve or maybe at Lakeside Stadium.
He's trying to overcompensate for the big deck. Of course, they've been much stronger at home this year, Manningham, than they have away from home, which is understandable given synthetic surface that they used to at Petty's. It's in Far. Back to his centre halves. Ooh, Carrigan leaving that one a little short. It's a chance for Golding to skip away here, but no way past Tom Werndl. Good cover from the centre back. Golding picks himself up off the deck. Ali Turgott asking whether it was a free kick. I think that was a little hopeful.
That's audacious.
Just put it on the ground and see if the referee corrects you.
Well, you know, a lot of young players have brought up trying to give an inch, take a mile.
This is Turgott. Carter couldn't hold off his man. Ooh, trouble on here for Tavalla and Akol. Sorted out between the two of them, and here Hatim Far chases that ball that was slowing up on the turf there.
Hayden Brown was just waiting for it to come, and he was waiting a little bit long there. He was certainly giving any Manningham fans that have come across here tonight a few heart palpitations.
Used to the ball running faster on the plastic pitch, perhaps. Steve White to Albano. Couldn't find Mitch Hall there. Kurt Kawaku comes in to win the challenge. Paul Quall slowed the attack. Everson is released down the left. The effervescent Ben Everson. And he goes for goal. Audacious attempt from the angle. Chris Oldfield was alive to it.
Well, he fashioned to take the shot there pretty quickly after picking up possession, but it looked like that ball was favouring Ben Carrigan, but Everson, he just seems to have a way. He has this aura about him that he just makes the ball his somehow, and Carrigan was chasing the Manningham striker, and Everson was firing the shot on goal from a difficult position, and in the end, Oldfield, no worries. And Oldfield hasn't really been tested too much tonight, and the closest Manningham have come has been that opportunity that came back off the upright for Ben Everson.
It's funny, you made the Brandon Barnes comparison in the first half, from a few years ago when he was a dominant player in top flight. I think it's apt because he's got that quality where he almost seems quicker with the ball than he is without it. And he just keeps the ball on a string when he's dribbling, comes alive whenever he gets it. Always seems like he can pull the trigger in an instant. It's been such a great signing for Manningham, to say the least. He's one of the main reasons they got promoted from NPL 2 last season. This is Junior Carter for Tom Golding. Fashion space on his right boot. Waits for support. Goes with his left instead. Everson does well to hold up the ball. Kawaku. There's heavy traffic in front of him and he turns it over. Now Albano can't find Hatim Farr. Hayden Brown will show a little bit more urgency clearing that ball. Handles header to get far. Carrigan against the yellow. Bit of pinball at the moment. Manningham makes something of this back and forth nature of this game. Certainly haven't killed off the contest, that's for sure. Carter for Turgut. Kawaku. And now Golding. Pocket of space to swing a ball in if he chooses. One for Everson to attack. Tom Werndl gets there first. Kawaku. Telegraph the pass. It's intercepted by Jack Morton. And now there's plenty to do for Kurt Kawaku. He's not going to get to that one. Saif Saki bursting away. That's John Albano on the other flank. Corey Sewell offering support. Albano gets it back with the ricochet. Back out to Saif Saki on the right. Now Franic. Franic, can he return the favour for Corey Sewell? Gets it across the box. Not cleared. And now Albano unleashes the strike. And it's blocked en route. Still alive for the Knights. Sewell swung it in. Hall couldn't make clean contact in the middle. Manningham have had a few chances to clear their lines here and they haven't done so. Tim Farr getting involved in the build-up play now. Defensive work from Paul Quall. Again, they can't scramble the ball away. Saki just has this habit of holding on to it when you don't expect him to.
Well, there's not a huge crowd out here tonight at Knight Stadium, but those who are here are certainly getting good bang for their buck. Waves of attacks for the Knights in the last couple of minutes. The ball refusing to go out of play. Ivan Franic, the goal scorer, getting forward from right back and getting involved in the attacks again there, as we see. The Knights just lifting their game a little bit in the last couple of minutes. Here's Steve White. He'd be the architect to the goal that would give them that 2-goal cushion. That's what they're looking for at the moment. It's risky business just sitting on this 1-0 lead against a side like Manningham, who've got attacking threats and wily old foxes like the 37-year-old Ben Everson, who's still got plenty of going in him yet. But it's a chance here for Hoare, and his header's off target. Good build-up again by the Knights on the right-hand side. Ball come in, and Hoare was looking for that top right corner, and he just couldn't direct it goal-bound and past Hayden Brown.
It's really sustained pressure from the Knights. They've used the ball really well there. Saki dropping way off to receive possession and then darting in between two defenders. Sprinting forward for the return. Decent cross off his right boot. And Mitch Hoare gets well wide of the target.
Like it was Jack Morton getting forward and supplying the cross from the right hand. Those numbers are hard to read on those Knights jerseys, I will say, and I didn't expect Morton to be the player in the wide area.
just assumed from the way he was running with it, Steve. Perhaps it was.
Well, here we are in again. It's Albano. He's one-on-one here, and he can't keep his shot down. Another good look for the Knights to kill this game off. Albano, you'd fancy him to score from that position. Castiello was giving chase, but he was never going to get there, and Albano just had to slot it past Hayden Brown and keep it down low. And he wasn't able to. Another chance goes begging for the Knights, and could they be made to pay here by this Manningham side? It was the ball over the top by Steve White that did the damage. The first touch was good enough. The second touch was over the bar for John Albano, as we see Quall coming forward with the ball, and he finds Turgut, who's getting forward from right back, and down the flank here is Golding looking to supply the cross. He's got Sewell to beat here. Plays it in. It's a crafty ball looking for Ramirez. It's well away by Werndl. Running as far as Castiello. Now Turgut. It's a high boot there. And it's going to be a card for the Frenchman. Hakim Farr. Brave bit of play to win the free kick by Ali Turgut, who put his body on the line for his team there. Just copped a bit of a stud pattern across the forehead.
Yeah, certainly a high foot from Farr. Just having a few words with Terry Constandellis. His first game here in Victorian football. An ugly one. Both sides have blown huge scoring opportunities early in the second half. Ben Everson with the 1v1 off the Hayden Brown assist, and then John Albano bursting away. Unable to keep his shot down. It's a decent delivery off the set piece from Golding, but it's headed well wide.
It's probably his best delivery so far. A good opportunity again for Manningham there.
It's Castiello who flicked it on, but couldn't get enough of a touch on it.
I think if Castiello keeps winning all of these headers in these situations, eventually one of them's going to go in, just by the law of averages.
Well, I'd say that, but he's yet to score this year, so Dow Akol opened his account of late, but
Castiello again fighting for the ball. Farr giving chase and picking up the second ball now and playing it out wide to his countryman in Saif Saki. Just to go back. This is Franich now. Twisting and turning. Good run by Saki on his non-preferred side. Plays it into Farr. And he was closed down well.
That's just heroic defending from Alex Castiello. Put his body on the line there.
He's putting in a shift out there, Alex Castiello, that's for sure.
If he saw what happened to his teammate who got in the way of Hatim Farr's boot a few moments ago, you'd forgive him for not wanting to put his head where it hurts, but
they're a committed bunch of players, this Manningham side under George Karkaletsis, and will we see, the subs are warming up now, so will we see some changes soon as we approach that 65 minutes on the clock?
They've acquitted themselves pretty well in the second half, but bouncing the ball away from an equaliser. They've had that huge chance through Albano as well, of course. Franich short. They generate here. Saki is wrong-footed. Ivan Franich with that little back heel. Paul Quall wanted to take it quickly. Carter does really well to keep it in tight. Tom Golding picks it up, and now the Knights can stride forward here. Big shout for a foul against Kawaku, who points at the ball. Referee agrees. Golding. Ben Everson wants it at the far post. Tom Golding tries to skip past Corey Sewell. There was no way past. That's him far. Hall out to Albano. Albano cutting in field. Ivan Franich. Saki. It's trying to exploit this right-hand side again. Saki's early ball out to the left. Corey Sewell steps inside. his right. Nice shape on it. Ivan Franic thought he was taken down off the ball there. And we will see the game's first change with Hatim Far fresh off the plane after coming across from France. He's going to come off and be replaced by another new signing, Jeffrey Leno.
Yeah, Jeffrey Leno's looking for his first goal of the season. 11 appearances in the matchday squad for the Bentley Greens this season. So could he break his duck tonight in his new club colours and give the Knights that 2-goal cushion that they so desire in their second 45, with Manningham chomping away at their heels. And just going back a moment, what a challenge that was by Corey Sewell just to our right here. He'd actually lost his footing and was sitting on the ground and still managed to dispossess the tricky Thomas Golding and then get up and run away with the football. It was something that you don't see every day, but it just shows you the quality of the craft and experience of someone like Corey Sewell that the Knights can have the luxury of having in their defence. Wendell's clearance has been charged down by Ramirez, and it bounced off the back of Ramirez's head. It's gone out for a Melbourne Knights throw, despite his protests.
I think we all saw that from our commentary position, but Ramirez desperately unlucky. What have you made of Hatim Far's debut for the Knights? Some positive signs?
Well, there's some, like the link-up play with his fellow Frenchman. Save Saki was impressive, but it might just take a little. That's the problem with the late transfer window.
Yeah.
It's going to take a little while. I'm not sure how long since he's played a full match as well. Since he's come across, he was playing in that fourth tier of the French competition over there, and well, he's got some promise. He's got some pace. A goal would have given him some good confidence. He thought he'd got his first goal in Knights colours when it was headed off the line by Marco Tavallo earlier in the first half. So looking forward to seeing more of him and what he can offer. But assuming that Kieran Bramwell is past fit to come back into the team next week, he might be restricted to chances off the bench maybe in the next couple of weeks. But, well, who knows? The Knights, they might need to field an aggressive strategy to try and chase that sixth place, and maybe they'll play with a couple of players up top even.
I get the feeling that he's not always an out-and-out 9, and that's just a role he's had to play this evening. I'm not certain that's how Ivan Franic and his team see Hatim Far fitting into the 11 long term. Maybe you could play him in a number 10 role, push Mitch Hoare a little bit deeper alongside Jack Morton or Steve White.
It's a pretty tasty-looking midfield that you mentioned there, actually. Plenty of potency going forward. You'd fancy with that midfield composition for the Knights if they're to go that way, especially with Kieran Bramwell, who's in great scoring form, ahead of them to come back into that striking role. And that's a good ball by Golding. Good weight on the pass for Everson. He tries to get around Corey Sewell, but he's just been winning the ball back every time he's had someone trying to get around him, and he's given away the corner, though, in this particular instance. So another chance from a set-piece opportunity for the big boys, Castiello and Acol, to try and show their stuff in the penalty area here.
And Manningham are going to make a change. It's going to be Jose Ramirez who's withdrawn. And
it's going to be Mohamed Al-Sadi coming on.
Yeah.
So a handy player to be able to bring on. He's got a lot of confidence, the 18-year-old. Banged in a hatful of goals in the Pascoe Vale under 21 last season. And he's already got one senior goal in his new club colours this year as well. You can see the strut that he comes out onto the park there. He's ready to come and take the corner straight away.
I think that's why they were keen to get the sub done. His first kick of the game to be an impactful one. Mohamed Al-Sadi. Well, it's a nice delivery to the back post. It was pinpoint, but no teammate in blue there to meet it. It's well won in the midfield. And the Knights have numbers here. Manningham really exposed. John Albano. John Mabok wants it. Fresh off the bench, John Mabok sees his effort blocked. Albano. Still John Albano into the danger area, and Manningham scramble it behind and concede a corner. And they were really short-handed at the back there off that counter-attack. They've done well to survive it.
Well, the Knights with their chance to swing in a corner kick now. It's going to be the player coach over to take this one. And then the scorer of the solitary goal on 33 minutes this evening. A towering header by the former Socceroo as he Places the ball down in the quadrant here. Everyone back in defence except for Thomas Golding for Manningham. It comes into the near post area. It's partially cleared by Everson, but it's going to break here for Franic again. And Kwaku striding forward. Golding down the right-hand side. Just delaying and waiting for teammates to arrive. Here's the chance for Al-Sadi. Junior Carter looking for the opening, and he tries to go for placement, but he wasn't able to really test out Chris Oldfield there. Shot on target nonetheless, but easily fielded by the experienced goalkeeper.
Oldfield's going to punt it downfield in the vague direction of Jeffrey Leno. He's the new man here at Summer Street. Both teams really going for it here.
It's what you want to see at this time of the year as well. I think Manningham, they could conserve energy and try and save themselves for next week. They've got an 8-day break, though, until they take on Moreland City in that 6-point game next weekend. So it's good to see that, well, you're only a goal down. They've got to try and go. A point would be a huge bonus if they can get it.
They've just made a change there with Paul Quall coming off. And James Tuntis has replaced him. Leno's not going to get there that time.
Yeah, so Tuntis, who was in the starting 11 for the big win last week, was one of the unlucky ones to make way and drop to the bench tonight. So he'll be chomping at the bit to be out there and try and make a difference. Wendell's head up.
I think it's a similar situation to Hatim Farr in some ways, because Jeffrey Leno hasn't played for several weeks for the Bentley Greens. He's lacking on a little bit of match fitness, so he's come off the bench. Paul Quall, probably seen more recent football for Kingston, but it's hard with these new players not gelling straight away. They look like great signings on paper, but you've only got a handful of games.
In the time available, it really is luck of the draw what the integration of these signings can look like in the squads. Of course, Manningham had a couple of players going away from the squad too. Rob Harding leaving to go to Lakeside Stadium. Christos Theodorakopoulos returning to Campbell Reserve for his old team, Moreland City.
I was quite astonished to see that transfer in particular. Christos going back to Morelands. What a time to jump ship. You're locked in a relegation battle with your current club.
It's not every day you see someone leaving to a relegation rival, but certainly in his case, as this ball's in to the back post area, Oldfield with a punch, coming out to clear the danger. It's only as far as Golding. He's got Saki to beat. Good duel between these two. No room for the cross. Saki defending it like it's a shot. Eventually the Knights win back possession. They're going to get a free kick here, which just relieves the pressure. Alex Castiello, the big central defender, exerting himself and giving away the infringement.
I think that's a good foul, to be honest, considering how they almost conceded off the counter-attack from a corner a few moments ago. And the Knights are going to make a change. It's going to be Thomas Karlovic coming on for Ivan Franic. He might still be struggling with that shoulder problem.
The 19-year-old, he hasn't seen too much action this season. He gets his chance here, and they do a bit of coaching from the sidelines as well here, Ivan Franic.
And he just fell really heavily in that aerial challenge 5 or 10 minutes ago, and I wonder whether it's giving him a bit of bother. He's got to focus on more than one thing at once. So Karlovic, the youngster, replaces the veteran, the goal scorer this evening, Ivan Franic. It's just a solitary goal here at Summer Street if you're just joining us. What a beautiful goal it was. A glorious team move. 16 passes ending with Corey Sewell crossing to Ivan Franic. This is going to give Hayden Brown a few headaches, and it's a sliced clearance. Oh, it spins unkindly away from Turgut, but it's worked out well for him. Turns it over straight to Corey Sewell. Oh, Jeffrey Leno. A little late on Castiello there.
Manningham really riding by the seat of their pants there. They take a lot of risks, and that's why they're entertaining to watch. And well, that clearance from Hayden Brown, and then Ali Turgut trying to clean up the resulting damage. Eventually they were good enough to survive the opportunity that they presented to the Knights themselves. But as far as Ivan Franic goes, hopefully that there is someone, despite him hitting the whiteboard and the magnets over there in the technical area, hopefully someone's able to supply him a nice ice pack for that sore shoulder that he's got after he went for an absolute specky over his opponent earlier in the second half. A lot of hang time, and he came down solidly.
Surely they're not going to make him move the magnets himself after that. Surely you've got an intern on the bench who can do that for him.
It's a long way across from our broadcast position. I'm just trying to read the room of what's happening over there at the moment.
It's such a curious dynamic, isn't it?
It's like he's patrolling the technical area with his tracksuit top on and he's playing shorts and shin pads. It's a real throwback. I love it.
Real Sunday League stuff in the Socceroo. You can do it all, as we've seen this evening. It's a good win for Manningham, and Tuntis comes away with the ball. A little fortunate off the ricochet from Karlovic. Tuntis spreads the play for Al-Sadi. Mohamed Al-Sadi comes inside to a heavily congested area, and the Knights go back the other way.
Kawaku's down in back play as well.
And Jeffrey Lena maybe could have advanced further and been onside. He gets it here anyway. Albano joining the fray. Leno losing possession and sliding, and then Kawaku is going to put it out for himself.
I've never seen that before. Well, certainly not to make light of the injury, and hopefully it is only cramp.
It does look like a cramp for
Kawaku. Having that foot extended at the moment by teammate Alex Castiello, but the dramatic scene of a player suffering an extreme bout of cramp, having to try and boot the ball out of play so the trainer could come on and he can take a breath. There's one for the highlights reel right there. Not quite as pure as the 16-pass combination that led to Ivan Franic's towering headed goal that separates the two sides, but nonetheless equally as enjoyable. It's going to be a change as the trainer is signalling here to replace Kawaku, who's put in a lot of work. He's someone who has very high top speed, and when he covers the ground, he's doing a lot of it really high intensity sprints, and you can see that it's taken a lot out of him so far tonight.
Well, what I was going to say, Steve, is once he turns around, you'll be able to see just the deep patch of mud on the back of his shirt. And I think that will demonstrate just how much work that Kirk Kawaku has gone through this evening. Show it off. Yep, there we are. You can barely see the 17 anymore. He's hit the deck so many times. And the Melbourne Knights sportingly giving the ball back after Kirk Kawaku's brave intervention on his own accord.
I'll have to go back and watch that again. That was terrific. I've not seen that before. As James Tuntis is motoring forward in the left-hand here. Manningham, they're still good for a goal in this match, you fancy. The Knights going to have to keep a close check on the likes of James Tuntis and the speed that he has, especially coming on as a fresh player off the bench. But they've won the ball back here. And striding forward is the substitute, Karlovic. In a good pocket of space here is Steve White. Such a handy asset to be able to have to control the tempo of this game when you are sitting on a 1-0 lead. Makes it feel a little bit, just that little bit more secure. Here's Carrigan.
Manningham down to 10 until they can make this change.
Perhaps the Knights could go for the jugular here before the ball goes out of play. Ball forward towards Sewell. It was cut out by Turgut. Appeals for a handball. It's going to be a free kick going away off Manningham. This will give them that chance to make that much needed change to get 11 players back out on the park. And it's going to be the introduction of Ioannis Georgopoulos, who is a player I haven't seen firsthand for some time. A player of over 100, a veteran of over 100 NPL Victoria appearances. 32 years of age. Out there in the number 10 jersey. Not to be confused with James Tuntis, who I believe wore the number 10 jersey last week. Just keeping us on our toes up here in the broadcast position. NPL Victoria, round 21, Friday night football. Steve Curtin and Josh Parrish with you for this one. Melbourne Knights leading courtesy of their player coach, Ivan Franic's goal on 33 minutes. Tavalla's striding forward, and he's won a corner here, so good play by the youngster getting forward, putting some pressure on those Knights defenders. And so it's going to be Georgopoulos going over to take the corner kick. The fresh legs with the gloves on over on the far side. And we need a good quality ball in here as far as Manningham is concerned. Well, he slipped over as he took it, and it was flicked on at the near post by Mohammed Al Sadi. And he puts his hands to his head because that wasn't far away from sneaking in at the near post.
Well, he might have slipped, but he still delivered a brilliant ball. It was terrific. Yanni Georgopoulos.
We were saying the pitch seemed slippery when we were arriving here and walking across the pitch earlier tonight, but as the dew comes down during the course of the evening,
I think it's come off Everson. Must have taken a deflection off the Manningham player on the route. It's definitely diverted.
May have been on target, but it's Albano here who's looking to get the Knights back on target. He's got Lino through the middle, and it's a good challenge to clear it away by Akol, who's been sliding at full stretch multiple times tonight. He's a real defender who gives his all, very committed, diving headers, sliding in to make clearances. Certainly entertaining, scoring it last week. And he's conceded the corner here, and looks like there's no rush to take this one as far as the Knights are concerned, as you'd imagine, with less than 10 minutes to go in this round 21 fixture here.
Just 2 years ago, he was playing at Doveton in NPL 3, Steve. So it's been a rapid rise for Dow Akol, and a deserved one at that. Oh, and Jeffrey Lino getting up higher than than Hayden Brown there, I should say, and diverting it way off target. That was a better chance than perhaps it looked at first glance.
Oh, he flew even higher than Ivan Franic there, I think, as well with that one, but certainly couldn't direct it downward. But Hayden Brown, well, he was beating all ends up in his own 6-yard box there. As Brown sends this one long over the halfway line. Steve White is favoured to win the header. That's flicked on by Al Sadi. Out wide is James Tuntis looking for Everson, who picks up the ball on the edge of the area. Tried to lead these Knights defenders a merry dance as he jinks his way forward. Wins his side a throw.
How many times have we seen Ben Everson get the ball and immediately 2 defenders straight on him? I'm sure that was a core part of the Knights' preparation for this fixture after they saw the form he was in last week against Dinamo. Could have had 4 or 5 goals. Ended up with a hat-trick, which is more than respectable from the Englishman.
Absolutely, no doubt about it. And at 37 years of age, he doesn't look like he's slowing down. He could go on for another 2 or 3 or 4 years. At the way he's going at the moment, who knows?
Well, it looked like it was all coming to an end at Bulleen last year. They were happy enough to see him go. Then he pops up at Manningham and scores 11 goals in 8 games to get them promoted. It's just extraordinary, the impact he's had. And now 10 goals this season in the top flight.
Well, that's an example of players coming across in that window and making a difference right there. It's not easy and not easy to integrate in such a short space of time, but that is some return. 11 in 8.
It's going to be one of the best mid-season signings ever in NPL and VPL. Certainly since the window has shifted. It's helped on towards Jeff Lino. Lino around the outside. Dow Akol in the way. Castiello. Appeal for handball not given. The Knights not in any hurry here. Jeffrey Lino released down the right. He's onside here. The cutback is on. And it takes a touch on the way.
Just too much on that cutback there. And Jeffrey Lino and Manningham coming forward again here. Over on the far side is Tuntis. Anderson's peeled out wide left. Junior Carter through the middle. There's Tuntis again now. Georgopoulos, who doesn't mind a shot from distance. I've seen him execute from downtown before. The ball's across by Everson and it's taken by Oldfield. Everson, you wonder if, we're just talking about how he draws the crowd, just drifting out to those wide areas to try and maybe take some central defenders out of the hot spot and open up some spaces for some of those fresh legs to charge through the middle perhaps and find that equaliser. And here's James Tuntis again going at Karlovic. Well played by the youngster Thomas Karlovic, who won the ball back. Steve White going one way and then the other, and he finds Morton in the centre circle of Knight Stadium looking to find the dangerous John Albano. And his first touch took him wide. He's going to look for options inside, which include Lino. Turgut well away, clearing the cross and clearing the danger.
I just feel as if Knights need a second to make this safe. The game is so stretched at the moment. They've just got to be more efficient in the final third. Albano back to Morton. Been full of energy tonight. Can't find a teammate. Now Everson rises. Gets it down for James Tuntis. Carter. Junior Carter just crowded out there in the end. Carrigan tries to release down the right. Good cover from Dow Akol. Al-Sadi knocks it into space. Wrestling with Carrigan, a clear foul. And maybe a bit of inexperience shown there by young Muhammad Al-Sadi.
He was charging forward like a bull at a gate there, Al-Sadi, but Carrigan put his body in the right position. Just watching the replay there, Junior Carter, that was an excellent nutmeg in the centre of the park on Jack Morton, who's still wondering how the ball got between his legs.
Junior Carter has been a real standout this year for Manningham. That's for damn certain. He's got 2 goals as well, which is not bad going for a guy who's played basically the entire year at number 6. Savella, let's win it back. Again, the press proving useful. Now it's Albano to curl for the far post, and Hayden Brown across in time. Oh, I just thought as if Saif Saki was shaping to shoot for a moment there, but again, he's chosen a selfless option. Hasn't had too many pings at goal off his left boot. We know he's capable of the spectacular, as we saw against Avondale. Seems like a long time ago now.
I just wonder if they will be reviewing the tape, the Melbourne Knights and Ivan Franic and his coaching staff, and think that Saki could be pulling the trigger a little bit earlier, especially against teams that maybe have more of a deeper lying defensive line. He's got a decent left foot and maybe just lacking a bit of confidence at the moment with some of his shooting that we've seen tonight when he has tried his luck.
2 words spring to mind, Steve. One of them is shoot, and the other one I won't utter on the broadcast.
I'll save that for the post-match analysis. Here's Turgut receiving from Castiello. It's not long for the Knights to hold on here, but it's a dangerous game to just sit on this 1-0 lead, and they're not really in the full lockdown mode either. It's fair to say this is Al-Sadi. He's dragged Carrigan out into the wide area, but Carrigan again has done well. It's been a good matchup to watch since Al-Sadi came onto the park between he and the more experienced figure of Ben Carrigan. It's going to be a free kick here for the Knights, given away this time by Junior Carter, who's been full of running all evening. There's a lot of territory in central midfield.
Knights are going to bring on John LeBock here.
He's getting his last-minute instructions from Ivan Franic.
Imagine they'd bring off one of the wingers here and play Lino wide. Maybe LeBock can play wide as well.
We'll await the 4th official's board as Thomas Werndl sends this left-footed ball up into the air. It's picked off easily by Turgut. Junior Carter did well enough, and good switch of play by the gloved one in Ioannis Georgopoulos. This is Tuntis. It's a heavy touch. He showed too much of it for Karlovic, but it rebounded. That's a fortune. Savala's ball forward. He's going to have to chase it himself. Karlovic is going to escort it over the byline. We might get that change now. Looks like it's going to be opportunity, as he said, for John Mabok, and he's going to be replacing Saif Saki.
He has scored his first senior goal this year. Promising youngster John Mabok, who's come up through the Knights youth ranks. 12 goals for the under-21s last season. Scored once here against Dinamo earlier in the campaign. There's fireworks going off in the background, Steve. See if there's some fireworks to end this game. I'm sure you didn't see them on the stream, but trust me, they were there.
I could hear them. I don't know if I saw them as well, but
Hayden Brown, that's an awkward one. Good distance off that.
Fireworks were drowned out by a passing 747, but that was a good touch in the Manningham technical area as well. I think it was one of the assistant coaches, or if it was George Karkaletsis on the Nonetheless, time is running out, and they want to get the ball back in play.
Might have been George Kay himself showing the players how it's done.
A good player in his day. NPL Grand Final winner for North Geelong. The ball's going to be played into the box. The Knights are queuing up at the back post. Albano was waiting for it, never came his way. Forward by Georgopoulos as far as Al Sadi, who's using his body well, but Thomas Werndl's done even better there. Castiello coming in from central defence to apply a bit of pressure as well.
It's been really scrappy in the last few minutes.
So I can see those fireworks going off. You might be able to see those in the stream. Jordan behind the camera for Sportscast Australia, just hone in on those for a tight shot of the fireworks. Doing a great job to give everyone a look at the action from home and the fireworks on and off the field.
Some patriotic Americans in Sunshine West celebrating a belated 4th of July.
Leftover from yesterday. Here's Albano, flags up for offside. So we are into stoppage time, and 5 minutes is the allotted time that's been indicated by 4th official Lucas Matteo from the far side. So there's not long for the Knights to hold on here, but if those fireworks in the distance are anything to go by, maybe there is more to come here. As the ball's played forward to Al Sadi, his first touch really wasn't quite the right decision that he's made there. Turgut's gone for the chest mark there. It's going to be a handball. Free kick to the Knights. It's a good lead from the 50-metre area.
I was going to say.
So it'll be the Knights get a forward half entry.
All right, enough breaking of the Sharon rule. Golding takes down Albano. And he's going to go into the book here, Tom Golding.
Doesn't agree with the decision.
Seemed a little harsh on face value. Maybe he's picked up a couple of fouls tonight. Constandella's certainly taking the view that that was a intentional stopping of play after the Knights were breaking away. Jack Morton is going to wander away from that one. I would have thought Steve White out for this.
Prime Steve White sort of territory, but
instead it's going to be Corey Sewell. Well, they're not risking too much in the box here, the Knights. Lino and Mabok, the obvious targets at the back post. Sewell will send it out. Behind for a goal kick. They look content enough to sit on a 1-0 lead, the Knights. It's going to be a retake of the goal kick with the ball moving. And he gets a few shouts off his teammates, Hayden Brown. What are you doing? Pump it long. We don't have much time left.
Hit it long to Benny. It's good touch by Carter.
Scrapy bump time for the Manningham United Blues. They need it forward and forward quickly.
There's El Sadi. In the throat. They're disputing it. It's going to be a blue ball, though, over on the far side in front of the Martin Paducah stand. We've not got long to go, and Dow Akol is charging into the penalty area. So the central defenders and also Alex Castiello. So they're going full throttle at this to try and get an equalising goal as the long ball comes into the box. It's flicked on by Castiello. He's won every contested header in those sort of situations today, but it's not come to anything again. But Tavalla's going to take the throw here again. George Opus is the short option, but the little man's going to send it right into the box. It's a bit of chaos in there. It's just about cleared by that Knights defence. I'll just about do them now as Albano, the Pistons are pumping here. He's charging down the left-hand side. Flicks it inboard and tries to deceive Golding. Oh, Akol working back. Excellent effort from him. Over on the far side, and now it's the Knights queuing up on opportunity. Oh, appeals for a handball, and it's not been given. Well, Jeffrey Lino was in a really good position there, and he had his pass blocked by, well, maybe it was a hand, maybe it wasn't, and now El Sadi's got the opening the other way. This is Mohamed El Sadi, and he doesn't wrap his foot around it at all when it was shaping to be a sweet strike into the top corner.
Oh, just thought John Albano may have created something out of nothing there with the burst of acceleration. It was a lovely, composed leave from John Mabok to dummy that pass. And it's difficult to tell whether that was outside the natural silhouette, whether it did in fact hit a hand, but what a waste from Al Sadi. With the game going end to end, felt like that had to be a little reverse back to Everson. Alas, easy to say from up here, but
Certainly saw his name up in lights there.
One of the ball boys has just gone for an absolute sixer behind the goal. It's a slippery turf tonight.
Slippery. Need to review his footwear, that youngster.
Have to look at that in the replay. I think one of them slide tackled the other. Last chance saloon for Manningham. Can they get it forward in time? Georgopoulos has to go back to his goalkeeper. Short to Dow Akol. Ben Everson says, pump it long and quickly. Instead, Akol goes short to Golding. And it's away. And Terry Constandelis has the whistle in his mouth. But maybe the Knights will settle it with the second goal. Lino cuts it back. And it was Marco Zavella cleaning up in time. One last chance. Still we go on. We've played the 5 minutes and then some. Ball into touch. A glance at the watch from Constandelos. He's going to let Manningham take the throw here. Up come Castiello and Akol again. Maybe, just maybe, some late drama at Summer Street. Turcotte goes short to Golding. Golding rides the challenge. Clip to the back post! And the shot comes in, it's blocked. And that will do it for the Knights. And they all go to John Mabok, who's made perhaps a game-saving block. Chris Oldfield has done himself some damage reaching for that one. Heart rate absolutely off the charts for the Melbourne Knights fans. They were flirting with disaster, but in the end they emerged with the 3 points, a hard-won 3 points against a desperate Manningham United Blues, who were so unlucky.
What a chaotic last play of the night there that we saw, Josh. Golding beating his man who tried to foul him, getting the ball into the box, and Ioannis Georgopoulos with a spectacular volley. He got himself parallel to the ground. He hit it pretty well, but it was equaled and cancelled out by the John Mabok block, as you rightly said there. And the Knights hold on to the 3 points, and they close within 1 point of sixth place Port Melbourne Sharks. They're banging on the door of the top six now, well and truly. And with some interesting fixtures to come up, some difficult ones and some easier ones. Heidelberg United next week, followed by Altona Magic arriving here on Friday week, and then a trip to take on the Oakley Cannons among their next three. Who knows, they could pick up maybe as many as 6 points perhaps from those three fixtures and see themselves established in the top six. They got the result they needed. It wasn't pretty at times, but they did more than enough to seal the deal tonight. And what a header in the first half on 33 minutes by Ivan Franic after that 16-pass succession by the Knights. A great team goal on the left-hand side, building up the play, and a towering header by the former Socceroo, who got some serious hang time and fired it past Hayden Brown. And that was what separated the two sides at the end of the night, but there were so many other talking points.
Oh, certainly. I think Manningham pretty unlucky there not to get something at the end. The Knights almost made a rod for their own back and threw away their lead. And, well, they're going to have to rename him John Mablock after that one, because that was absolutely spectacular. He's not a defensive player by any means, John Mablock, but he came up with the intervention. It was absolutely crucial from the spectacular scissor kick volley from Ioannis Georgopoulos. Well, I guess we'll sign off here at Knight Stadium as the music kicks in. Don't want the copyright gods to come for us, Steve Curtin. But I've been Josh Parrish, Steve Curtin alongside me. The final score at Summer Street. Melbourne Knights 1, Manningham United 0.